You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots, you know, the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, we're celebrating today. You know, I look at celebrations every morning. Josh and I go through them, mostly him. And we look at these things, and you got it. Sometimes I scratch my head. I don't do it too hard because I don't have any hair left. But, you know, National Red Rose Day. That's got to be the flower industry that's putting these things out like that. Because, you know, didn't we just have last month? Didn't we have Mother's Day, which get a lot of roses going out on Mother's Day? Thankfully, my bride doesn't like flowers on these big holidays like that. She tells me I'd be foolish to go and pay the money for it, that I can get them for her any other time, but not then. Red Rose Day today. So, you know something, Josh, I should have put this in as a question of the day. Are you getting your dad red roses for Father's Day? I don't think so. Okay, today is also National Jerky Day. No, I'm not talking about people. We're talking about the food. Do you like jerky? I like the, I forgot where we even get it, teriyaki jerky. I like the teriyaki. Now, my wife likes, there's one of them that's real spicy. She likes the spicy stuff. I'm a wimp. I'm not into that spicy stuff. Today's also National Peanut Butter Cookie Day. Now, I have beaten anorexia, so I am an expert on cookies. What do they call that one, the Girl Scout cookie that has the peanut butter with chocolate? I forgot what that one's called, but I like that one. And probably as old as I am, they've probably changed the names on some of these things. I also say that I like the Samoas, but I don't think they call it a Samoa anymore. I think they changed that name too to something that I can't remember. No, I'm not senile quite yet. Question of the day, though, is what is your favorite cookie? Put it in the chat for us. What's your favorite cookie? What's yours, Josh? Put a favorite cookie in there. I'm going to say, you're going to laugh because mine covers almost everything. Oatmeal raisin with chocolate chips. We have a friend that makes those, and of course, also the same one. Your peanut butter is your favorite. Okay. So I like that oatmeal raisin with chocolate chips. She's probably not listening, so I probably won't get a batch of them. She's also the one that makes the German chocolate cake that's so tremendous. And again, I've beaten anorexia, so I understand all of these things. Let's take a look and see what the markets are doing today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average up 104 points, come back a little bit. The S&P 500 is up 61. The NASDAQ is up 313 points. Well, I'll tell you why that's going the way it is in just a minute. Oil is up 37 cents a barrel. Don't want to really look and see what gas prices are doing because it makes me ill. But I did fill up yesterday. $4.61 is what I paid for premium yesterday. Of course, I go to Costco. I don't know if that's where most people go, but I know that Costco station I go to, they go through thousands of gallons of gasoline every single day. Good prices over there. So That one's not going to kill us too much. But why are the markets doing what they're doing? Why is the NASDAQ up so much, yet the Dow is not? Well, I haven't looked lately, but I'm betting that it's going to be a lot to do with Apple stock. So Apple announced that they're coming out with their phones are going to have AI, artificial intelligence integrated into the phones. They're going to start off with ChatGPT. Microsoft stock goes up. And then they're going to open it up to other services as well. But more than that, apparently, in order for it to work, you've got to have a lot of horsepower in there. And to get that horsepower, well, you got to have an iPhone 15 Pro or better. No, it's not. I thought it was iPhone 15 Pro, Josh. Josh will help me out on this. But I thought that they said in order to get for the horsepower, you had to have the iPhone 13 Pro. Okay. So I've been watching it on the news this morning. Even this morning, they said it was the 15. But so it's a 13 Pro or better. Good. Ironically enough, on the business channel that I was watching, they did say the 15, and they said that people are going to get upgrade envy. So Josh says it's the 13. Do I want to believe the business channel or Josh? I'm going to go with Josh. Okay, so maybe they won't have as much in the way of new sales from that iPhone as they were talking about. So that's the whole benefit right there. We're going to watch that one. So there may be other reasons why the market's going, but I know that Apple's stock itself, regardless of what phone you need, their stock was up quite a bit early today. So that's going to help both the NASDAQ and Apple stock is up almost 5% today. Wow. That's a big move for the world's largest company. They're number one or number two. They're up $10 a share today alone, 4.95%. Let's see what Microsoft is doing. That one is up 1.3%. That's up $5.94 today. And of course, do we want to look at NVIDIA? That's been the biggest one of all of them lately. That one is up 4% today. And be aware, and I want to talk about NVIDIA just a minute here because I don't want you to get misled. And it is very easy to get misled. NVIDIA stock now is trading at $125 a share. After the close of business on Friday, they had a 10-for-1 stock split. Does that mean the stock is different today than it was on Friday? No. It is exactly the same. So if you were to just multiply it by 10, today's pricing would be the same as $1,256 a share if it was Friday. Does not change. Now, the only thing that changes a little bit is perception, because the public starts looking at it and saying, well, that stock is $125 a share. I can buy more of that than I can buy of Apple or Microsoft. So I'm going to buy NVIDIA. So the supply and demand of the stock might be adjusting, but the value of the company does not change. Smart money, the big institutions, they were buying this as soon as they heard that they were going to do the stock split, because they know that the retail investor, the guy or gal that says, well, I can't afford a $1,200 stock, and say, okay, I can buy 3 or 4 shares of a $125 stock. So they're more inclined to go and buy it. And the more they want to buy, that pushes pricing up over the short term. Over the long term, it does not have an effect. So don't get caught up in the fact that you want to buy it because of where it's at or any of these other psychological events. Just be careful of that one. So that's what's going on in the market right now. We got the CPI report this morning. We're going to talk about that quite a bit in the Mortgage Minute today, because that's the big driver of the day, is at least so far for the next hour and 45 minutes. That is the big driver. Why do I say an hour and 45 minutes? Well, the Federal Reserve is in meetings today. They were meeting yesterday and today. So when they have their meetings, they come out at 11 o'clock California time, and that's when we're going to get the update as to what the results are of their meeting. I'm going to tell you right now, the results are they are not going to do a thing with interest rates right now. But what will change, or what will have an effect, is the issue that they're going to be talking about their dot plot. What are they going to do in the future? They're going to be looking at what the inflation numbers came out this morning. They may have got them early. We never know. And they're going to be looking at the employment numbers. Now, I've been telling you right along that the employment numbers in most cases are bogus. The BS that we get from the Bureau of Labor Statistics saying that our unemployment, they don't give us unemployment. They tell us how many jobs are created. We get unemployment from the household survey, which is telling us that we lost hundreds of thousands of jobs last month. Don't tell the president. But we're not seeing the fact that California, according to the same groups, the California has a 5.3% unemployment number right now. 5.3. National number is 4. North and South Dakota are both in the low 2s. So would you rather live in California or North and South Dakota? I'll take California. But if you want a job, you got to go to the Dakotas. Just throw that out there for you. Hilda's disappointed with Apple. I wonder why. Tell us why, Hilda. It'd be interesting to see why you're disappointed with Apple. I use I've got, my desk is covered, should I say littered, with Apple products. I've got 2 iPads, a MacBook Pro, iPhone, and AirPods, all on my desk in front of me right now. I don't know. I use it. I keep on going. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, home prices are not declining, but headlines might make you think they are. How long does it take to refinance a house? All that and more. Reach me anytime off air. Number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com. My mind went blank. Facebook.com, or just call us. You know where to find us. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Homeowners over the age of 62 are taking back financial control after retirement with reverse mortgages, and the Siegel Lending Team is here to help you use it to your advantage. Call Ron Siegel with Geneva Financial to receive your free information booklet with no obligation. The booklet answers all your questions, and the best part is, you still own your home. Call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990 or visit RonSiegelRadio.com.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you could retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less? all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now. Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis. rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Hey there, friends. Wondering if now is the right time to buy a home? Or are you waiting for a bunch of foreclosures? The facts speak loud and clear. Defaults and foreclosures are down. Sure, we might be headed towards a recession. But did you know interest rates typically drop and real estate values often go up during a recession? So what are you waiting for? Higher prices or higher payments? Don't navigate these waters alone. Connect with RonSiegelRadio.com today. That's RonSiegelRadio.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make that call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And every day at this time, OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates. With consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide, they do not tell us points paid, points received, or the APR. They tell us the number to put in the mortgage calculator. That's the number you put in there to find out what your principal and interest payment will be each month. Let's see what the rates did yesterday. That's the latest data they have available. Conventional loans down 6.987 on the 30-year fixed. Jumbo loans down 7.157 on the 30-year fixed. FHA loans down 6.758 on the 30-year fixed. USDA loans up. That's the rural areas, generally no down payment, 6.799. And the best loan on the market for our veterans, they earned it. That's a 30-year VA loan, 6.519. That one was up. I'm going to share with you, though, don't ever look at the rates as being the item that you're going to use to determine what's the best program for you. We want to look at what is the most suitable program for you. What's your time horizon? What's your safety? What's your risk tolerance? What's the liquidity that you need? All of those things are going into your home loan. Rate is just one small piece. And as I've shared with you many, many times, you cannot go to the supermarket with rate. You need dollars and cents to go to the supermarket. Let's take a look and see what's going on right now in the markets, because that was yesterday's data, and that's the most current there is. Today we're looking at the Dow Jones, or the S&P 500 is up 59.5 points, and we're looking at the 10-year Treasury down 13 basis points. That's a good number right there. Mortgage-backed securities up 46 basis points. Why is one up, one down? Well, the 10-year Treasury is telling us about the yield, down 13 basis points. The bond is telling, the mortgage-backed security, that's telling us the bond itself is up 46 basis points, which means interest rates are down. If it holds that way, the chart that we just showed you, if you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv or any of our socials, we'll see mostly red arrows there tomorrow. Why is all of this happening? Why did the rates change the way they did early today, even though we know that the Federal Reserve is coming out with their announcement at 11 o'clock California time? They've got a statement at 2:30 California time. And if you're listening to us again on ABC News and Talk, We already know what those numbers were, but we're recording in the morning, so we don't have that. The driving numbers for the morning, though, the May Consumer Price Index report showed that overall inflation was 0% for the month, which was cooler than estimates of 0.1% year over year. Inflation decreased from 3.4 to 3.3. Those who are ignorant will say that there's no inflation. Not true. What it is that there was no increase in inflation for the month. That means it was the same as it was last year, same month. They replaced a number from last year, and the same number that we had last year is this year, so there's no change. It doesn't mean there's no inflation. Estimates was cool. The number was cooler than estimates of 0.1%. Year over year, inflation decreased from 3.4 to 3.3, which was softer than estimates of an unchanged reading. Helping the headline was a drop of 2% in energy prices, with gasoline falling 3.6%. Core rate, strips out food and energy, increased by 0.2%, which was also 1/10 below estimates. Year over year, core CPI declined from 3.6 to 3.4, lower than the unchanged estimate of 3.5. Let's take a look at what some of the numbers really look like. While the entire reading of core CPI was 3.4%, year over year, almost all the inflation came from shelter and motor vehicle insurance. Everything else rose only 0.21% from last year. Shelter cost makes up 45% of core index, moderated slightly as we expected because of the higher replacement figure falling out of the annual calculation from last year. Overall, shelter cost rose 0.4%, causing the year-over-year reading to decline from 5.5 to 5.4 year over year. Rents rose 0.4% last month and are up 5.3% year over year, down from 5.4% in the previous report. Owner equivalent rent, which tries to capture the increase in home ownership costs, also rose 0.4% and is up 5.7% year over year, down from 5.8. While we did not see much progress on shelter, it did moderate a bit, and the monthly readings have been trending lower and have been somewhat tamer. Looking ahead next month, the figure falling off the annual calculation is 0.41%, which will make it hard to make any additional progress unless we see lower monthly readings beneath 0.4%. But looking further, we'll see some big benefit in September and January, as those are very high comparisons. The other areas responsible for most of the inflation we see is motor vehicle insurance, and this component finally cooled off after having a string of very high monthly readings. In today's report, motor vehicle insurance fell 0.1% in the year-over-year reading, moderated from a very high 23% to 20%, causing the overall core index to fall 0.11 year over year. Motor vehicle insurance appears to be finally cooling after catching up to the big rise we saw in car prices from 2 years ago. If this trend continues, it'll help inflation move lower. Another item that helped was airline fares, which fell 3.6% last month. The other thing that we're watching this morning is the Fed meeting. The Fed's going to look at that CPI report. The Fed meeting later this afternoon could shake things up. We know the Fed is not going to cut rates, but their statement projections and Powell press conference will be critical. The Fed will likely make little changes to their statement, but they're going to release a new dot plot chart. That's basically where all 19 members say they think rates are going to be at the end of this year, next year, the year after that. It's anonymous. We don't know who's saying what. We can kind of guess in some of them. But it'll tell us, are they looking at 2 cuts this year, 3 cuts this year? We're going to find out. We'll see that later in the report today. That is the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. So what does all this stuff mean to you? And I've shared this with you before. I'll share it again today and in the future. Interest rates are one small component of what we're looking at. You need to be looking at way more than interest rates. And I know I lead a lending team. I consult with people every day. What's the rate, Ron? Well, what do you want it to be? What do you know about interest rates? What do you know about how interest rates are calculated? Well, all of those are issues that we need to be looking at. What I want to look at and talk to you about is what's more important, your short and long-term goals. Because I could tell you that interest rates are, Josh, put that chart back up, would you please, of the interest rates that we had for today, OBMI. I could tell you that conventional rate you see there is 6.987 from yesterday. Do you want a 5.987? Do you want a 4.875? Maybe. Do you want a 7.5? Do you want an 8.5? Maybe. You say, Ron, well, if the average is 6.987, why would I want a 7.5 or an 8.5? Well, it all depends on your goals. What are you trying to accomplish? Thanks, Josh. So the bottom line there is, if you're looking, and what are your beliefs? So right after we finish the broadcast today, I'm going to be talking with a client, and they're looking at buying a new home. We're going to chat about exactly what I'm going to say to you right now. How long are you going to be in the property? We keep our loans 5.2 years on average. If I call you in 6 months or a year and say, Mr. or Mrs. Family, the interest rates have dropped dramatically. Would you like to restructure your loan? If you're open to doing things like that, well, then we're going to have one conversation about current rates. If you're not open to doing things like that, then we have another conversation. The family I'm talking to has a significant down payment. Now, I only look and consider down payments that match up precisely with the price breaks on the rate sheets. What does that mean? So once we load in an individual's all of their data, there's something called loan level price adjustments. Loan level price adjustments. There's, last I heard, I think there's like 37 of them. Well, then they come out with a rate, and one of the loan level price adjustments is how much down payment is there. What the down payment really means is how much collateral are you giving to the bank? The less, the better, in my opinion, and it should be yours too. But I digress. So there's price breaks at 20% down, 25% down, 30% down, 40% down, and 50% down. That's where the price breaks are. Now, if you have the capacity of putting down 29%, why would you? Because you like the bank? No. At that point, what I'm going to say to you is, let's go either 1% more or 4% less. If we look at 4% less, then the next step we look at is, what is your time horizon? And how did you answer that question I mentioned to you a little bit ago? Are you willing to do a restructure the loan, 6, 12, 18 months down the road? Because we can take that 3-4% and use all or some of it to reduce that interest rate. If you recall, Josh put that screen up there, 6.897, right? That was the number that we had from yesterday. Well, if it was yesterday and we apply a 3% rate buy down, you're coming out with the same exact amount out of your pocket. You're not coming out of pocket anymore. You're just redistributing the funds. And when you redistribute the funds, you get a better rate. When you get a better rate, you get a better payment. And it's all part of the strategy. And if you recall, I've told you this many, many times. Strategy beats rate always. Strategy beats rate always. So I could take that 3%, buy it down, and you're going to be coming out of pocket with the exact same amount of money. Just throwing that out there for you. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, home prices are not declining, but headlines might have you think they are. How long does it take to refinance a house? All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the first Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis. rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
Hey there, friends. Wondering if now is the right time to buy a home? Or are you waiting for a bunch of foreclosures? The facts speak loud and clear. Defaults and foreclosures are down. Sure, we might be headed towards a recession. But did you know interest rates typically drop and real estate values often go up during a recession? So what are you waiting for? Higher prices or higher payments? Don't navigate these waters alone. Connect with RonSiegelRadio.com today. That's RonSiegelRadio.com.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
We're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com. rsrmoney.com. Home prices are not declining, but headlines might make you think they are. Have you seen the news lately about home sellers slashing prices? It's a great example of how headlines do more to terrify than clarify. Here's what's really happening with prices. Bottom line is, home prices are higher than they were a year ago at this time, and they're expected to keep rising just at a slower pace. Think about this. If you're driving down the freeway, and I don't recommend breaking any laws, at 75 miles an hour, and you see a police officer pull up behind you, you're in a 65 zone, and he doesn't pull you over. But you might slow down to 65. Are you going backwards, or are you still going forward, just not at quite the same pace? Same concept. Prices are going forward, just not quite as quickly. The bottom line is home prices are higher than they were a year ago at this time, and they're expected to keep rising, just at the slower pace. A recent article from Redfin notes, quote, price drops hit the highest level in 18 months as high rates dampen buyer demand, unquote. And that might make you think prices are declining. Now, while it's true, the latest report from Realtor.com also shows 16.6% of homes on the market had price reductions in May, which is up from 12.7 last month. That doesn't mean overall home prices are falling. And I'm going to share with you that I don't even believe those numbers because they're probably double that. We get our data from Altos Research. It's also now called Housing Wire. I think we bought Altos. You can get the same data if you like. rsrlinks.com/market report. rsrlinks.com/market report. The numbers you're looking at right now are telling that we're talking about are national numbers. When you go to rsrlinks.com/market report, you can put in the zip code you want, and it'll tell you down there on the right side near the bottom. It'll say in that zip code of the houses that are on the market today, how many of them have taken a price reduction. On average, historically, about 1/3, 33% of the houses that sell have a price reduction. Right? And the last time I looked, it was about 35% had price reductions of the properties that are on the market right now. You need to know that. You can also see what's happening as far as values of the properties in any given area. I digress. The key is knowing the difference between the asking price and the sold price. Understanding asking price versus sold price. In essence, the asking price, also known as a listing price, is the amount a seller hopes, maybe, to get for their home when they list it. In reality, sellers can't just put any price tag on their house and expect it to sell for top dollar. Today's buyers are savvy customers, and when they aren't willing to pay a premium for a home because their budgets are strained by higher mortgage rates, sellers need to adjust. And that's what's happening right now. Based on market factors and what offers that sellers receives, that asking price can change. If a seller isn't getting much foot traffic, you may see them revise the price and make an adjustment to reignite interest in the home. Sometimes that's because they've overpriced it from the start. That's where price reductions come in. And when you see price drops in a headline, it sounds like declining home prices. They've got Mike Simonson, CEO and founder of Altos Research. We were just talking about him. Quote, not only is the share of homes with price cuts elevated compared to 1 year ago, but more price cuts are happening each week than last year, unquote. On the other hand, the final sold price is the amount a buyer actually pays when the transaction is complete. Here's the most important thing to note. Actual sold prices are still rising, and they're expected to continue to do so at least over the next 5 years. What does this mean for home prices? So while there's been an increase in price reductions recently, this doesn't mean overall home values are declining. Instead, it's a sign that demand is moderating, and as a result, sellers are adjusting their expectations to align with today's market reality. Even with more price reductions, home values are still growing on an annual basis, as they do nearly every year in the housing market. According to the FHFA, Federal Housing Finance Agency, home prices went up 6.6% over the last year. If you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of the socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490, FM 98.1 video feed, you are seeing a chart. Nationally, percentage of home price increases 6.6%. Looks like California was 6.3%. So are we talking about prices going down? No. Just about everywhere it indicates that the market is not in decline. Because if you look in there, there's an orange section that's lower than 1%, and I see only Maryland. Is it Maryland? DC is the only place where the prices are down, and that's only down 1.9%. While the seller price reductions are often a leading indicator that prices may moderate in the months ahead, which experts have been saying for a while is expected to happen, they aren't necessarily a reason for alarm. The same article from Redfin also states, quote, those metrics suggest sale price growth could soften in the coming months as persistently high mortgage rates turn off home buyers. For now, the median home sale price is up 4.3% year over year to another record high. And with inventory as tight as it is today, price moderation is much more likely in upcoming months than price declines. Why is this good news for buyers and sellers? For home buyers, don't forget, get the Home Buyer's Guide, rsrbg.com. So for home buyers, more realistic asking prices means a better chance of securing a home at a fair price. It also means you can enter the market with more confidence, knowing prices are stabilizing rather than continuing to skyrocket. For sellers, your home seller's guide, rsrhsg.com. For sellers, understanding the need to adjust your asking price can lead to faster sales and fewer price negotiations. Setting a realistic price from the start can attract more serious buyers and lead to smoother transactions. Bottom line, while the uptick in price reductions might seem troubling, it's not a cause for concern. It reflects a market adjusting new conditions. Home prices are continuing to grow, just at a more moderate pace. That is the real-time real estate segment, brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Let's chat about this further a little bit. So we're talking about pricing of a house. Now you're going to talk to realtors, I got to say it the right way. You're going to talk to realtors, and they're going to all have a different opinion on how to price a property. First off, you need to give us a call first at Ron Siegel Radio, because the realtors that we work with get your house shown on TV. Why is that important? The more people that see your property, potentially the higher the price is that you're going to get. Let's go back to the realtors' strategies. What their strategies, some of them will say, and some of it's just because a buyer or a seller says, you know something, you tell me the houses, all my competition is at 500,000, but I want you to list it at 549,000. And some realtors will say, okay, we'll do it. And they just go and they keep their head in the sand. They get the listing, and yeah, I get it. They follow the herd. They're not leading anything. Now, you've got other realtors that say, you know something, they'll educate you. And here's the education process. We don't want to list the property above market value. If you've got a realtor that's doing a great job of marketing, such as putting your house on TV like the trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio do, what we want to do then, what happens is we want to get the most people possible seeing the property. We want to price it a little bit below market value. That way, when they look at when it hits the streets, they get a lot of activity. In many instances, the strategy is also hold back showings until, say, Saturday morning. You put it on the market on Wednesday, get it on TV on Thursdays. First showings are on Saturday. Get a line of people there. When the people start looking at the property and they say, wow, that's a great price, but they also see another 40 or 50, or recently I had somebody that told me that 160 parties come through on a weekend. What ends up happening is the property sells above market value. When it sells above market value or above the list price, well, then you're going the other way from what this article just said. But we want to get a bidding war going. You don't get a bidding war going when you list above market. If you get enough people seeing the property, it will always, always, always be brought up to market value. And if you've got a great agent, if it's not, I wouldn't stress it, because you just don't accept the offer. Very, very simple. So list aggressively, market aggressively, hold back the showings until a little bit. We're going to accept offers until Sunday, say at 5, or maybe Monday morning at 9, whatever you want to do. And the bottom line is get the buyers to compete against themselves. Let them do the negotiating amongst buyers. You stay out of it. Let your agent keep going back and forth and asking for highest and best. And you'll find out that not only will you get the highest offer for the property, the agents will frequently say, you know something? I don't think we better ask for too many contingencies because there's other people in there. Now, I think we've still got this one. rsrsalesmax.com. rsrsalesmax.com. And we go through several different ways of showing you how to maximize the sales price of your property. rsrsalesmax.com. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, how long does it take to refinance a house? All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at RonSiegelRadio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey there, friends. Wondering if now is the right time to buy a home? Or are you waiting for a bunch of foreclosures? The facts speak loud and clear. Defaults and foreclosures are down. Sure, we might be headed towards a recession. But did you know interest rates typically drop and real estate values often go up during a recession? So what are you waiting for? Higher prices or higher payments? Don't navigate these waters alone. Connect with RonSiegelRadio.com today. That's RonSiegelRadio.com.
Hey friends, do you dream of mortgage-free home ownership? Are you aware that even if you own your home free and clear, it could still be costing you thousands per year? The Siegel Lending Team can help you generate tax-free income, accumulate family wealth, and maintain ownership of your home. By simply emailing your most recent mortgage statement, you'll receive a no-obligation real estate plan. Learn more by calling 1-800-306-1990 or email me your recent mortgage statement to PEAR@RonSiegelRadio.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you tired of paying rent? Are you tired of paying someone else's mortgage? Do you know qualified folks can potentially purchase a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket? Ron Siegel can help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. If you're tired of paying someone else's mortgage, reach out to Ron today at ronismylender.com. That's ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions, as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Borrow Smart segment today being brought to you by rsrnodebt.com, rsrnodebt.com. How long does it take to refinance a house? How long do you want it to take? You have to plan in advance. That's the whole thing. So here's the ideas as to what you want to do. 7 steps to refinance your home could help you save money in the short term by extending your loan term and lowering your monthly payment, or help you save on interest throughout your loan with larger monthly payments in a shorter loan term. If your credit is improved since you took out your original loan, you may also be able to lower your loan's interest rate. Let's take a look at what we need to do. First step, understand your goals. It all goes back to your goals. How long are you going to be there? Does it make sense to even refinance? If you're only going to be there a year, what's the break-even point on the refinancing costs? So one of the first steps to refinancing a house is asking yourself what you'd like to get from refinancing. Do you want to shorten your loan term? Do you want to secure an interest rate lower than your current rate? Do you want both? What is the ideal result? Take a look at the lenders. And we always say, something, here's 7 questions we're going to answer for you. Make sure you get them answered by everybody that you want to chat with and see what they have to say. Take a look at what the costs and fees are. I had somebody just yesterday say, Can you guarantee a no-cost loan if we have to refinance down the road? And my answer is, sure I can, and so can anybody. I'm not going to promise you that's the best solution for you, because when the time comes, we're going to lay things out and see what is your best solution. Not always is it a no-cost option. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's not. If you're going to be there short term, no cost is great. If you're going to be there long term, there's no free lunch. Escrow, title, appraisers, they all have to get paid. So it's going to be coming out of something. Where do you think it comes from? The buyer always pays. Get a total cost analysis. Take a look at 2 or 3. I generally like to put 3 different options on a total cost analysis so you can see side by side what they're going to look like 5 years. What are they going to look like in 10 years? What is your savings? What is your cost? What is your net worth? What are all these things doing? Make sure you can shorten the time period by getting your documentation in order or using a company that deals with account check. That's the one that I like the best. So you got to prove your income. You got to prove your assets. You got to deal with insurance. You're going to have debt statements. So your income, assets, and bank statements are all available online. You can get those anywhere. Now, if you use this service, Account Check, it will allow you to put in credentials that we never see, and it sends us an electronic report that goes right into the loan origination software. That way you don't have to get involved in getting the documentation to us. About 70% of the employers in the country will deal with these online services. So your income will go right through there as well. So you don't have to deal with getting bank statements. It can be very, very simple. Depending on how much equity you have in your property, you may not even need an appraisal depending on some of the data that comes through. So again, make these plans up front. Start the loan process, and if needed, get an appraisal. You can start the loan process with our team. Let's go to ronismylender.com, ronismylender.com. And there's an app right there that you can actually play around with and see what rates are, what payments are. If you want to buy down the rate and bring it down to 5%, you can see what that payment will do. You want to get more of a rebate at the end? Take a look at a 7% rate. See what that does. Then we go to the underwriters. A good company will be able to get it underwritten within probably 24 hours, maybe less. You're going to have a discussion, a rate lock discussion, and understand what the rates are that you qualify for and get that locked in. We talked about rate locks yesterday. And then you just go on your way. It's not that difficult. In most instances, the escrow company is going to send an appraiser right to your house or place of work, wherever you want, so you can sign the documents with them at that point. It becomes very simple. Now, the part that's not simple, you need to deal with a great lender who understands where we are in the marketplace and can give you guidance. Why do we use a total cost analysis? Because we want to look and see, okay, if we pay points, and it's not bad paying points to buy down a rate. There's some people that say, Ron, there's no way I'm paying points. Gotcha. But are you open-minded enough to see what that does for you and your family? If you are, you get a total cost analysis, and it says, our break even on paying points is 27 months. So I start saving a lot of money at the 28th month? Well, then you have to look and say, okay, what do I expect interest rates to do? When do I think they're going to come down? Do I think they're going to go up? Am I better off using an adjustable rate mortgage? Most people say, I get a lot of people, there's no way I'm ever going to have an adjustable rate mortgage. Do you know the vast majority of high net worth individuals never have a fixed rate mortgage? Why? Because they know the market cycles. There are different ways of going. The best loan that we're talking to folks about for those that qualify is the Home Select loan from Geneva Financial. Why? Because you get the lowest interest expense. The interest rate might be higher, but the interest expense is lower. The minimum mandatory payment is lower in most instances. The net wealth effect is higher. You get more net wealth. And the effective interest rate, even though the interest rate is higher, the effective interest rate, right now, most of them that I'm looking at are running between 2 and 3% 30-year loan effective interest rate, effective APR. So it's all about the same thing. Strategy beats rate always. Strategy beats rate always. And as always, we ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Big thanks to Josh and Sean for engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.